We are a country that hasn't landed on our identity yet. Starting to say that we're meeting here on lands of Wurundjeri people, and it's important that we pay respect to the ancestry of the land and all those who, by force or by choice, have made their way to this part of the world, and pay respect to the ancestors and to the elders of the communities that still carrying that flame. We have a colonial history that's rich. It should be part of our culture. We geographically are part of Asia, the Pacific, that should be recognised in what we do. We have the world's most diverse multicultural communities and the world's oldest living continuous culture. And if we can't create a culture from those four inputs, we're missing the greatest opportunity this nation has got. Yeah, we need to create an environment where we can have courageous conversation and courageous engagement without being ruled by binary positions. Respect is a traditional Aboriginal value. If you respect people, you are automatically culturally safe. So, but that has to be mutual in the exchange. But think of cultural intelligence as a competency, not culturally competent, but as something you need in the workplace. So there's only one culture you need. Anyone needs to be competent in their own culture. And if you're comfortable in your own skin and you accept other cultures in a more dynamic and productive way. I worked most of my career in Asia. I understand a bit of Bahasa, a bit of Mandarin. I understand some of the philosophies of Guanxi and some of the Southern Asian philosophies, which I do, but I understood those in order for me to engage with people more dynamically, more productively. So it's not, I never claimed to be Asian, but I understand history and culture and philosophy enough so I could craft my education to meet their needs. So that's what cultural intelligence is. I don't want people to pretend they're black because they've done cultural training. I want them to know what are the things that affect us, the paradigms we see, and how they can band intellectually and professionally to engage with the people they engage with in a productive way. And the understanding Indigenous perspectives is really an important thing about this country. Moving to a place of national maturity is about assessing your own and interrogating your own tacit assumptions. So if you feel sorry for blackfellas, why do you feel sorry? What's your experience and how well were you connected to the cultural heritage of the land that you live on? This is what cultural intelligence is about, not compliance or conversion. It's about inviting you to take your shoes off and connect. If you live here, you've got a right to the cultural heritage of this land. So it's about connecting you to this land, and it's about people showing up authentically. It's bringing your whole self to the business that you choose to engage in. So you got to bring your whole self too. And this cultural intelligence is very much a part, like all the other intelligences we have, is very much a part of you marshalling who you are to make a difference in the world. I like that. It's to be open and be comfortable in your own skin. The only cultural competency you need is to be culturally competent in your own culture, and then to be open that to other people's positioning. The whole purpose of a university is within creative teachers to elevate the learning to a new place. And if we're going to do that, it takes a bit of courage. So cultural safety is being allowed there, being able for that to happen and for people to be comfortable in that creative exchange and inclusive in that cultural exchange, but not to feel that they are being persecuted. Being challenged is not a breach of cultural safety, I would say. Be easy on yourself, because the thing that in the fog of the cultural wars, what's gotten away is that thing of guilt, and that's one of the assumptions that have to, don't feel guilty. We don't want help. We want co-liberation. So we can liberate each other. And that's the important thing. So just chill, be yourself, have fun, have a laugh, and get excited and be open to listen to what the ancestors have got in mind for you. What we need to do is get into the space of liberation. And I want people to make a story about liberation. If your liberation is tied up in our liberation, that's what it's about. We need to make sure that that opportunity comes for both sides coming. And that what inclusion is all about? It's making space for other people in the conversation.